Έγινε μια πολύ καλή συζήτηση. Ο κύριος Άιντε σημείωσε αναφέρει το δικαίωμα της Κυπριακής Δημοκρατίας για αξιοποίηση και εκμετάλλευση των φυσικών της πόρων εντός της αποκλειστικής οικονομικής της ζώνης. Αναγνώρισε και εξέφρασε την ικανοποίησή του για την επικοδομητική προσέγγιση του Προέδρου της Δημοκρατίας, όχι μόνο στις προσπάθειες επανέναρξης του διαλόγου, αλλά και γενικότερα στην προσπάθεια για επίλυση του Κυπριακού. Εξέφρασε την απογοήτευση του για τον λόγο ότι η επικοδομητική αυτή προσέγγιση του Προέδρου της Δημοκρατίας δεν είχε ως αποτέλεσμα την επανέναρξη των συνομιλιών για λόγους που όλοι γνωρίζετε. Από πλευράς του Πρόεδρου της Δημοκρατίας εξέφρασε την ανάγκη αντικειμενικής ενημέρωσης των μελών του Συμβουλίου Ασφαλείας από τον κύριο Άιντε στις 26 Ιανουαρίου, έτσι ώστε να αντιληφθούν απόλυτα τους λόγους για τους οποίους δεν κατέστη δυνατόν να επαναρχίσει ο διάλογος. Σε σχέση με τις προοπτικές επανέναρξης του διαλόγου, ενός διαλόγου που θα έχει προοπτική θετικής κατάληξης, είναι ξεκάθαρο ότι η μπάλα βρίσκεται στο γήπεδο της τουρκικής πλευράς. Αυτά. Δεν ξέρω αν θέλετε να με ρωτήσετε κάτι. Μετά την ενημέρωση του Συμβουλίου Ασφαλείας ακολουθεί ψήφισμα του Συμβουλίου Ασφαλείας για την ανανέωση της UNFIGIP. Για μας είναι ιδιαίτερα σημαντικό να υπάρξει αντικειμενική ενημέρωση των μελών του Συμβουλίου Ασφαλείας, να παρουσιαστεί πραγματική εικόνα ως έχει και γιατί δεν κατέστη εφικτό να επαναρχίσει ο διάλογος. Είναι γεγονός ότι υπάρχει διαχρονικά σε πολλά διεθνή θέματα μια πολιτική ίσων αποστάσεων των Ηνωμένων Εθνών. Εμείς δεν ζητούμε από τα Ηνωμένα Έθνη να παρουσιάσουν γεγονότα υπέρ της δικής μας πλευράς. Εμείς ζητούμε να παρουσιάσουν τα γεγονότα ως έχουν. Μια αντικειμενική ενημέρωση του τι έγινε και γιατί δεν κατέστη δυνατόν να επαναρχίσει ο διάλογος.
We had a good and constructive meeting, and I used the opportunity to acknowledge that Mr. Anastasiades has made a positive contribution. And we also discussed the fact that so far this has not taken us out of the impasse that we are in. As I said yesterday, I'm concerned, I'm increasingly concerned that things are not moving, and I'm afraid that as they are not moving, they are de facto moving in the wrong direction. But I think we should see that a step has been taken by Mr. Anastasiades, and that's something to build further on. And I now call on all sides, also the Turkish Cypriot side, to recognize this, and this will be issues that I will bring to the Security Council's attention when I meet them in a week and a half.
Do you have any new ideas, something to lead the deadlock?
Well, you see, my proposals haven't always been successful here, and I'm also now very eager to hear what the leaders think themselves, because what I can tell you is that I see two leaders who are strongly arguing in favor of a return to the talks. The problem is that we're not been able to sort out the factors in the right order so that the talks can actually start. And I will reiterate that it's a sad paradox that there is much more agreement on the future than on the present. And the disagreement about the present precludes us from actually moving towards the future, over which there is quite a lot of agreement, particularly in the issue of hydrocarbons, where the issues of federal competences and shared revenues is already established. But despite of that, we are seeing prolonged crisis over hydrocarbons, which serves no one and which takes us nowhere.
Sir, Mr. Anastasiades made a proposal, as you said before, but it was not only rejected by the other side, but we have a new NAFTEX here.
Yes, and I think that I'm referring to the fact that we were not able to constructively use the small window of opportunity that we had when there was no drilling and no NAVTEX at the same time. I was working intensively with both sides and other concerned countries to try to use that momentum to bring a new optimism into this and to agree on how to get back to the table, and then a number of factors made that impossible. But we're not giving up, because we still think there should be room for that. But right now there is there are no prospects for an immediate meeting, and I think that will be the truth for quite a while.
So do you think that it's the Greek Cypriot side has to stop the drilling in order to go back to the negotiation?
I recognize that until recently there was no agreement about whether hydrocarbons should be discussed as part of the negotiations. Now Anastasiades has made a constructive contribution saying that towards the end of the negotiations all issues will be at the table, and that's something I hope that we can build further on.
So when do you see things moving again? When are we going to see things moving forward after the elections in the north?
I don't know, and that's what I'm trying to find out. I have said in many previous meetings with you that I'm a realistic optimist. I believe that's still true, but I'm getting increasingly concerned because if you remember in October I said that if this hydrocarbons crisis would last for a few weeks or even a few months, it would not threaten the process itself. Now it's lingering on. We're way into the next year, and I think that it's really important that everybody now tries to do what they can to get over this, and particularly because we're talking about an issue, to repeat myself, where we actually agree about the future state of affairs, but we're not able to go there because of this deep disagreement about current affairs.
Sir, one last question, please. Do you have any idea of the key factors that have made things impossible up to now?
Well, I mean, there is a fundamental disagreement on how to manage hydrocarbons in the current state of affairs when we do not have a solution.
So the other side wants the management of
just to refer to what the two sides say, and this is just a neutral reference to what is being said. The Greek Cypriot side is arguing that only the Republic of Cyprus can enter into international agreements, and it's using its legal right to declare and exploit its economic zone, and when a solution is found, the revenues will be shared. But before that, it's only up to the Republic. And the Turkish Cypriot position is that the two entities are all concerned about decisions that are being made now, and there should be some kind of consultation going on even now. Looking forward to a future federation, so that the two sides should start acting in the federal way, even if a federation is not established. And the difference on this issue is so deep that it prevents any direct talks about anything, which I think is highly unfortunate, because we should now be at the table so that these issues could actually be discussed. And I reiterate, it's a positive step from Mr. Anastasiades, and that positive step should of course be followed with some kind of response from the other side.
So is this the most crucial part of the negotiations that have...
Well, it's not. I mean, paradoxically, it's crucial because it's what keeps us from talking right now. Okay. In that sense, but at the same time, I know enough about all the issues now to say that there are other issues on which the disagreement is much higher than hydrocarbons, because you already agreed, and the leaders keep reiterating that hydrocarbons belongs to all Cypriots and will be shared based on existing agreements between Talat and Christofius, and also Anastasiades, Talat and Erolu, and that these issues would actually not be as problematic at the table if we were there. So it's important in order to get there. When we were there, I think issues of property and territory would be more difficult.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And of course I should also say, on the 26th of January I will be in New York to brief the Security Council. I will give an as honest and genuine representation of what is going on here to the Council, and of course also urge cooperation from not only the sides here but all other states to help create the conditions necessary for speedy resumption of talks. But there's no purpose of just talking. I mean, we have to resume talks with the purpose of actually getting somewhere. So when we get back, we should have a structured agreement on how we order the talks, how we sequence it, how frequently we meet, within a defined timeline, so that I will be able to go back to the Council a second time and make my observations of how well we're doing and what the prospects are for a final solution.